Hello everybody, back again. Okay, so what we're going to talk about today is triggers. And I thought we'd talk about triggers because I got triggered over the weekend. And I thought it's always great to share your own experiences because sometimes they can be more, it's helpful to hear someone else go through something and then you can kind of relate it to you. So as you listen to what I did or went through, you can equate it back to you and what you go through. So something happened at the weekend. Someone did something and I felt triggered. Now, I originally said no, and that's fine. They asked me something and I said no, but then I felt really angry. And I was like, okay, well, let me be curious. Why? So I started to do what I call the spiral down. So you start off, so something happens, you might respond to that in a way, but even after you've perhaps had a good boundary and you've said no, it might leave you feeling annoyed or frustrated or anxious or whatever. It might be rage, it might be just feeling really angry. So I was angry 4 out of 10, so it wasn't like really up there. So I felt really angry and I didn't want to feel angry. I didn't like feeling angry. I'd said no. Excuse me. So why so angry, you might ask? Which is what I was asking myself, the same question. So I just wrote down, why am I so angry? So if you've got a situation similar, then just give it a go. See what happens. Let's do some experimental behaviors, as I like to call it. So you just write down, why do I feel angry? And then you answer it to the best of your ability. So I feel angry. Why am I so angry? I feel angry because they shouldn't have even asked. Okay, so there's your next question. Well, why do you think they should never have asked? Because it's wrong to ask. It's bad to ask for something. Why is it wrong? So there you go again. You ask the question, why is it wrong and bad to ask? And as you dig deep, you come up, so why is it wrong and bad to ask? Because it means you're bad or you're wrong or you're greedy or you're weak or I don't know, whatever it is. What was it for me? I didn't bring it with me, so I can't look at what I've written, but it was something along the lines of, if you ask, that means you're bad. Okay, why are you bad for asking? Why are you bad for asking? Why was I bad for asking? Why is it bad if someone asks for something? So why am I bad? Why is it bad? Oh, it's bad because why? Why do you think it might be bad? What were we taught growing up? To be needless, to not ask for things. When you've been brought up in that seen and not heard sort of environment, there wasn't anyone there to meet your needs, or you were maybe told, don't ask for anything. Back in the day, kids were like, don't ask for a biscuit or don't ask for anything or don't embarrass me, be a good girl. We had to be on our best behavior. Otherwise you were in trouble. So maybe, and this is something I'm not fully conscious of, maybe it's in my subconscious, which I'm not fully aware of, there's a part of me that felt like it was bad and wrong to ask. And I project that onto me, but I project that onto another. And I made somebody else wrong and bad for asking. Because what was I taught? You mustn't ask. You must be a good little girl. And that means not having any needs for anything. And as soon as I kind of dug down and kept going and kept asking the question and trying to come up, because I did struggle a bit. Well, what does it mean? I did dig even deeper. So what does it mean if I'm bad? Then it means I'm what? Well, it leaves me feeling what? And I actually thought originally it left me feeling vulnerable. And I didn't like that feeling of vulnerability and it made me react to it. But actually, as I sat with it, and it wasn't till I thought about it a bit more, I realized that it felt like I was being somewhat controlled. There was a part of me that felt like I was being controlled, and that's what actually made me angry. And so that was interesting. Now, I was curious about that. Now, you have to be curious when you do this work. So there's your trigger. there's the response, there's the reaction. And even if you do the right thing by yourself, which I did the right thing, it's not like I said yes when I meant no. I said no and I meant no, but then I just still left feeling angry. And then you dig deep. Well, why so angry? Why am I angry? And you keep asking and answering the question. So you write it down. Why am I so angry? Because it's wrong to ask for things, you know. So you keep going down. You sort of drill down. You get to the core of it. Actually, I felt like it left me originally feeling vulnerable, but actually it wasn't that. It actually left me feeling controlled. And when I felt controlled, because maybe I did growing up as a child, felt controlled, it left me feeling helpless. And I hated that feeling of someone else being in control. Anyway, it doesn't actually, it's not the big deal isn't actually, how it left me. It's about digging down, the whole process of recognizing I felt angry. Okay, so what did it mean? And asking the question and answer it and asking it and answering it and asking the question. And then I eventually, I feel like I'm being controlled. But I wasn't. No one was trying to control me. Well, maybe they were by trying to ask me that question, but I said no to it. And so I didn't allow them to control me. If I'd said yes, maybe that would have been, I would have allowed them to control me, but I didn't. I said no. So even though I said no, I still felt angry because I still felt like I was trying to be controlled. That's my emotional response, my problem, my responsibility. And as soon as I went down and I understood myself, where it was coming from, the anger just went away. I did not feel angry anymore. There was no anger. Because the anger was false. It was false evidence of being real. That person might have been trying to get their needs met, but they didn't control me. So that is an echo or a memory of a child whereby back when I couldn't have said no because you weren't allowed to say no. If someone asked you to do something, I was taught you have to obey and say yes and do what the other person wanted you to do. So maybe that was just an echo of a memory of a past. But in that moment, it came in the present in the form of this response to this request. And as I worked through it and drilled down and kept asking the question, why do I feel angry? Why I feel bad? Why do I feel bad? Because it's wrong to ask. Why is it wrong to ask? Because it means you're naughty or bad or wrong. Why is it naughty, bad or wrong? And you just keep drilling down. There's no right or wrong answers or right or wrong questions. You just do whatever you feel till you get to the very heart and soul of it. Because I don't know about you, but I don't want to feel angry. And I didn't have to. I didn't have to feel angry. I was feeling angry. And you all know I've got issues with anger, so I need to deal with my anger. The same way some people need to deal with their fear and anxiety. And I did. And, the work is ongoing. We talked about this in the last video. The work is ongoing. You continually peeling back the layers and the layers and the layers, because those layers are laid down after decades and decades and moments. And of course they all don't come up at once. Your brain would explode. You'd end up, I don't know where you'd end up. You'd have a complete meltdown, but they come up gradually. And as when you're actually feeling a lot safer, that's when sometimes these things will come up. And I've created over the years a safe space for me. And as I created that safe space, it's like it all comes up, but in its own time. When it's ready. You can't force it sometimes. I mean, you can be proactive, don't get me wrong, but I bet if you asked anyone, well, they're always getting triggered. So you've always got the work. The work's always there. The work's always there for you to do. It's about you waking up, which is what we talked about, recognizing, my feeling, my responsibility. Let me do some work. Know thyself. Understand thyself. Be there for yourself. Know thyself. I mean, this is it. We're all in that process. So that was just a really small process that I went through that was really helpful. It was really effective. And so maybe give it a go. See what happens. What have you got to lose? Anyway, all for today. Take care. Bye.